talk. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Friends, let us all study, investigate and practice the real words of the Buddha. Tonight we are going to study another very much significant discourse of the Buddha from the middle-length teachings of the Buddha. The name of the discourse is Advice to Anathapindika, Anathapindikovada Sutta. This is the discourse number 143 from middle-length teachings of the Buddha. This is our talk number 51. Our palatable topic tonight is how to contemplate on deathbed. Friends, we all were born to this world. We all have to expect. Next step. What is the next step? Death. Death is unavoidable. Once the Buddha said, it is to be contemplated upon the death constantly. Whenever we are going to die, we have to think of ourselves. Not only that, we have to prepare for that. That is why we want to understand the Dhamma, to prepare for our own death. One day, we never know when, we never know the time, the type of disease, we never know the way that we are going to die. However, the Buddha has taught us different things to contemplate upon while on deathbed. This is how the Buddha's advice. Actually, this advice was given by Venerable Sariputta. To Anathapindika, the millionaire. You know, the Anathapindika was a millionaire. He was a businessman. He who built the Jetavana monastery and offered to the Buddha at the city of Savatthi, where the Buddha lived about 20 years. While the Buddha was dwelling there, Buddha delivered thousands of discourses. That is why whenever you read the discourses, most discourses start with when the Buddha was living at Savatthi. So the millionaire Anathapindika, at his old age, as he was about to die, he was gravely ill. Then this thing happened. Let's understand the discourse. Thus have I heard. This is how I heard. On one occasion, the Blessed One was living at Savatthi in Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's park. That is the exact place. Savatthi in Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's park. Anathapindika was the millionaire, the businessman who built the monastery and offered to the Buddha and the Mahasangha. Now, on that occasion, the householder Anathapindika was afflicted, suffering and gravely ill. Then he addressed a certain man thus, "Come, good man, go to the Blessed One, pay homage in my name with your head at his feet, and say, Venerable Sir, the householder Anathapindika is afflicted, suffering and gravely ill. He pays homage with his head at the Blessed One's feet." So that is how he asked a certain person to go to the monastery and respect the Buddha and tell the Buddha about his afflictions, Anathapindika's affliction. Then go to the Venerable Sariputta. So after paying homage to the Buddha, he further said, go to the Venerable Sariputta, pay homage in my name with your head at his feet. Friends, that is the way they respected the Buddha and the Sangha and the monks. And say, Venerable Sir, the householder Anathapindika is afflicted, suffering and gravely ill. He pays homage with his head at the Venerable Sariputta's feet. Then say, it would be good, Venerable Sir, if the Venerable Sariputta would come to the residence of the householder Anathapindika out of compassion. So that was his request, Anathapindika's request. Yes, sir, the man replied, and he went to the Blessed One. And after paying homage to the Blessed One, he sat down at one side and delivered his message. Then he went to the Venerable Sariputta, and after paying homage to the Venerable Sariputta, he delivered his message saying, it would be good, Venerable Sir, if the Venerable Sariputta would come to the residence of the household Anathapindika out of compassion. The Venerable Sariputta consented in silence. Friends, that is the way the monks accept sort of invitation. Consented in silence. Then the Venerable Sariputta, dressed and taking his bowl and outer robe, went to the residence of householder Anathapindika with the Venerable Ananda as his attendant. So they both went there. Venerable Sariputta and Ananda. They both went to Anathapindika's residence. Having gone there, he sat down on a seat made ready and said to the householder Anathapindika, I hope you are getting well, householder. I hope you are comfortable. I hope your painful feelings are subsiding and not increasing, and that their subsiding, not their increase, is apparent. Then Anathapindika says, Venerable Sariputta, I am not getting well. I am not comfortable. My painful feelings are increasing, not subsiding. Their increase and not their subsiding is apparent. Just as if a stone man were splitting my head open with a sharp sword, so too violent winds cut through my head. I am not getting well. Just as if a stone man were tightening a tough leather strap around my head as a headband, so too there are violent pains in my head. I am not getting well. Just as if a skilled butcher or his apprentice were to curd up an ox's belly with a sharp butcher's knife, so too when violent winds are curving up my belly, I am not getting well. Just as if two strong men were to seize a weaker man by both arms and roast him over a pit of hot coals, so too there is a violent burning in my body. I am not getting well. I am not comfortable. My painful feelings are increasing, not subsiding. Their increase and not their subsiding is apparent. So that is how he explained about his ailments, his sickness. Then householder. Now Venerable Sariputta's advised how to contemplate upon about him. What is the nature of this body? What is the nature of the mind? Now the body is decaying. You cannot cure this body as you are on deathbed. You have to take care of your mind, not the body. Doctors might help, but we cannot help. We have to accept that we have to go. We have to leave behind this body. But the mind, our mind, is the important thing. Getting ready to go to another state, another existence. Therefore, Venerable Sariputta now advises him, then householder, you should train thus. I will not cling to the I, and my consciousness will not be dependent on the I. That is the way to practice. Now, is the way to practice. How to practice? Give attention, be mindful. Give attention to your I and understand that this I, This I is not permanent. Understand clearly that there is nothing to cling to in the I. I will not cling to the I. Friends, when we are going to die, we'll have to do it ourselves. Not only on deathbed, we have to train this before that. We have to practice this now, today, whenever possible. Then day by day we can practice, develop, cultivate this system, this method of meditation. Giving attention to the I, we have to understand that I will not cling to this I. And my consciousness will not be dependent on the I. Consciousness. My consciousness is not dependent on the I. What is consciousness? Vijnana. Consciousness means vijnana. My vijnana will not be dependent on the I. That's the way to practice. Thus you should train. You should train thus. Then further, not only I. Give attention to your ear and mentally repeat, understand, I will not cling to the ear. Likewise, I will not cling to the nose. I will not cling to the tongue. I will not cling to the body. I will not cling to the mind. And my consciousness will not be dependent on the mind, not dependent on the ear, nose, tongue, body, and the mind. Consciousness is the most important thing now, not this body. That is why Venerable Sariputta instructed him to observe these different places and understand that your mind, your consciousness is not dependent on these different places. Then further he said, householder, you should train thus. I will not cling to forms. Forms. Through your eyes you see forms. Forms means not the forms out there. Whatever formed, created or made, whatever form outside, not outside forms. Now by this time you might close your eyes. You can't see the outside form. But the form means the form that you have taken inside. Inside. Form is there inside. I will not cling to forms. I will not cling to sounds. I will not cling to odors. I will not cling to flavors. I will not cling to tangibles. I will not cling to mind objects. That is the way to understand. That is the way to practice. This is the contemplation on the bed. Deathbed. Deathbed contemplation. Then further he says, Venerable Sariputta says, householder, you should train thus. I will not cling to I consciousness. You see, I, forms, and I consciousness. I consciousness. Now you are asked to observe your I consciousness, understand I consciousness, and mentally understand and say that I will not cling to I consciousness. I will not cling to ear consciousness. I will not cling to nose consciousness. I will not cling to tongue consciousness. I will not cling to body consciousness. I will not cling to mind consciousness. 6 classes of consciousness. So what are these things? Internal, 6 internal bases, 6 external bases, then 6 classes of consciousness. All this, with all this, to understand there's nothing to cling to here. My consciousness will not be dependent on my consciousness. Thus you should train. Then further he says, householder, you should train thus. I will not cling to eye contact. Eye contact. Contact means meeting of these 3. What are the 3? Eye, forms and eye consciousness. Ear, sounds and ear consciousness, like that. So now, I will not cling to eye contact. So meeting of the 3 is called contact. I will not cling to ear contact. I will not cling to nose contact. I will not cling to tongue contact. I will not cling to body contact. I will not cling to mind contact. Where are they? Within the 6 sense bases. 6 sense bases. Now further, Venerable Sariputta says, householder, you should train thus. I will not cling to feeling born of eye contact. You see, now with contact, there arises feeling. So the instruction is, I will not cling to feeling born of eye contact. I will not cling to ear contact. Feeling born of ear contact. I will not cling to feeling born of ear contact. I will not cling to feeling born of nose contact. I will not cling to feeling born of tongue contact. I will not cling to feeling born of body contact. I will not cling to feeling born of mind contact. So 6 classes of feelings. And my consciousness will not be dependent on feeling born of mind contact. So consciousness is not dependent on these things. That is the important thing. You are sort of releasing your contact without clinging to any place. Without clinging to any place in these 6 sense bases. 6 senses. Now further, Venerable Sariputta advises him, householder, you should train thus. I will not cling to the earth, because we cling to earth. Earth means solidarity, solid things, earth things, Pathavi, earth. I will not cling to the earth element. Earth means earth element. I will not cling to water element, not cling to the water element. I will not cling to the fire element. I will not cling to the air element. I will not cling to the space element. What are these elements? These are the 6 types of elements by which beings are formed. These are the 5 types of elements: earth, water, heat, air, space. this element, and also six type and consciousness element as well. We have 6 types of elements: earth, water, fire, air, space, and consciousness. When we talk about a person, these 6 types of elements. Then further, Venerable Sariputta says, householder, you should train thus: I will not cling to form. Whenever it is translated, normally the translators say material form, which is not correct in accordance with the original teachings. These are not material form. These are 5 aggregates. Friends, 5 aggregates are not material. 5 aggregates are mental. Form, rupa. Simply it is said rupa. In Pali, the Pali term is rupa. Feeling, vedana. Perception, sanya. Volitional formation, sankhara. And consciousness, vijnana. No material. Not necessarily another term to say material. So it is simply form. What are the forms? Mental form. Where are they? In the eye, in the ear, in the nose, in the tongue, in the body, and in the mind. Excuse me. In the mind. So these are the 5 aggregates. So Venerable Sariputta's advice here is, do not cling to your form in the eye, in the ear, in the nose, in the tongue, in the body, or in the mind. Do not cling to your form. Then do not cling to your feeling. Do not cling to your perception. Do not cling to your formations, volitional formations. Do not cling to your consciousness, 5 aggregates. Do not cling to your 5 aggregates. Then further, householder, you should train thus: I will not cling to the base of infinite space. Base of infinite space. Akasananchayatana. I will not cling to the base of infinite consciousness. Vijnananchayatana. I will not cling to the base of nothingness. Akinchanyayatana. I will not cling to the base of neither perception nor non-perception. Neva sanya, na sanya. You see, there is nothing to cling to. My consciousness will not be dependent on the base of neither perception nor non-perception. That's the way to contemplate upon. Householder, Venerable Sariputta advises, householder, you should train thus: I will not cling to this world. Now, nothing to cling to in the body, in the 6 sense bases. I will not cling to this world. And my mind, my consciousness will not be dependent on this world. Contemplate upon that. I will not cling to the world beyond, next world. My consciousness will not be dependent on the world beyond, neither this world nor next world. not clinging. That is the way to practice. In short, Venerable Sariputta advises him, householder, you should train thus. I will not cling to what is seen through the eyes, what is heard through the ear, what is sensed. Sense means either through your nose, through your tongue, through your body, or cognized through your mind. So nothing to cling to. Whatever encountered, sought after, and examined by the mind, and my consciousness will not be dependent on that. That is the way to practice. That is the way to contemplate upon on deathbed. That the way as Venerable Sariputta advised him. Then, when this was said, the householder Anathapindika wept and shed tears. He started to cry. Then the Venerable Ananda asked him, are you pondering, householder? Are you sinking? Are you pondering? Are you sinking? Then Anathapindika says, I am not pondering, Venerable Sir, Venerable Ananda. I am not sinking, but although I have long waited upon the teacher and bhikkhus, worthy of esteem, never before have I heard such a talk on the Dhamma. Means, Venerable Sir, even though I have associated with the monks, with the teacher, with the Buddha and the monks, I have never heard of this type of Dhamma talk. This is the first time I heard of this. Then Venerable Sariputta says, such talk on the Dhamma, householder, is not given to lay people clothed in white. Such talk on the Dhamma is given to those who have gone forth. This type of talk, this type of advice is not given to lay persons, though this is a special occasion. Then Anathapindika requested, well then, Venerable Sariputta, let such talk on the Dhamma be given to lay people clothed in white. There are clergymen with little dust in their eyes who are wasting away through not hearing such talk on the Dhamma. There will be those who will understand the Dhamma, he requested. Now, after this, after giving the householders Anathapindika this advice, the Venerable Sariputta and the Venerable Ananda rose from their seats and departed. Soon after they had left, the householder Anathapindika died and reappeared in the Tusita heaven. Tusita is the third heaven. You know, there are, according to Buddhist tradition, Buddhist cosmology, there are 6 heavens. The third one is Tusita. He died and reappeared there. Then, when the night was well advanced, Anathapindika, now a young god of beautiful appearance, went to the Blessed One, illuminating the whole of Jetha's grove. After paying homage to the Blessed One, he stood at one side and addressed the Blessed One in stanzas. He says, "Oh, blessed is this Jetha's grove, dwelt in by the sagely Sangha, wherein resides the King of Dhamma." King of Dhamma is the Buddha. The fount of all my happiness. By action, knowledge and Dhamma, by virtue and noble way of life, by these are mortals purified, not by lineage or wealth. Therefore, a wise person who sees what truly leads to his own good should investigate the Dhamma, and purify himself or herself with it. Sariputta has reached the peak in virtue, peace and wisdom's ways. Any bhikkhu who has gone beyond, at best, can only equal him. That is what this young god Anathapindika said. And the teacher approved, the Buddha approved it. Then the young god Anathapindika, thinking, the teacher has approved of me, paid homage to the Blessed One, and keeping him on his right, he vanished at once. When the night had ended, the Blessed One addressed the bhikkhus thus: "Bhikkhus, last night, when the night was well advanced, there came to me a certain young god of beautiful appearance, who illuminated the whole of Jetha's grove. After paying homage to me, he stood at one side and addressed me in stanzas thus." And that is what the god said, this young god said, that same recitation. Then the young god, thinking the teacher has approved of me, paid homage to me, and keeping me on his right, he vanished at once. The Buddha told this story to the bhikkhus. When this was said, the Venerable Ananda said to the Blessed One, "Surely, Venerable Sir, that young god must have been Anathapindika." For the household, Anathapindika had perfect confidence in the Venerable Sariputta. That is the Venerable Sariputta's inference. That is what is called inference. How he thought, because he had a perfect confidence in the Venerable Sariputta. Good, Buddha says, good Ananda, you have deduced the right conclusion. You have come to the right conclusion. That young god was Anathapindika, no one else. Friends, that is what the Blessed One said. The Venerable Ananda was satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One's words. So that is the end of this discourse. This is a wonderful discourse. This is the way to practice. It is true that we cannot contemplate upon all these things. We have limitations. We are worldlings. We don't want to worry about this infinite of space, infinite of consciousness, or things like nothingness, neither perception nor non-perception. All these are beyond our consciousness. We cannot contemplate upon these things. But we should be able to give our attention to ourselves, not to wail, not to weep, thinking of our things around us, the people around us, thinking of your own family members or anybody. Just give attention to yourself. Understand, I do not cling to this body. That itself is enough. I do not want to cling to this body. This body is not mine, not me, not myself. This I is not mine, not me, not myself, like that. Do not cling to this body. Then many things will pop up. Anything will pop up. Whatever pop up to your mind, that is what is called 5 aggregates. Many things. Maybe something done unwholesome. Do not cling to that. Maybe something done what you call wholesome. Do not want to cling to that also. Give up. The Buddha said, give up. Let them go. Do not accept. That is the advice of the Buddha. Do not accept this. Give up. Abandon. Expel. Exterminate. Obliterate. That is the way to practice. So friends, let's all understand this wonderful Dhamma. This Dhamma is unparalleled. This Dhamma is really unparalleled. If we practice this Dhamma in our daily life, we can cultivate this, we can develop this, so that one day, whenever we are going to die, on the deathbed, wherever, whether at home or in the hospital, or wherever, we will be able to practice this, apply this Dhamma. That will really help us for our destination. So this is why we want to understand this wonderful Dhamma, and understand this Dhamma. As we are practicing, we can enjoy this bliss every day. Wherever we are going, whatever we are doing, we can live happily, peacefully, and one day we can close our eyes peacefully. Let's all understand and put this Dhamma into practice. May we all realize this real peace, real happiness of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you.